I want to talk to you about what I'm now calling the Freed Creed. And as many of you know, and we had Tony and Josh come on here a few months ago, we went to Chad Wright's program, Project 3 of 7, and on that hike, if you can call it that, for 3 days, they handed us out a creed. And I've read that creed to you all before. You've seen it in Grit, Grind, Unbeatable Minds, so I'm not going to repeat it today. But and I think Casey or Josh has a copy of that. So if you guys wouldn't mind, if you have it handy, just throw that into the chat. But when I started thinking about what is the purpose of a creed? What is the purpose of having a list of sentences or paragraphs that you regularly review and recite out loud over time? Like, why did they give that to us in the first place? And it kind of took me to one of my all-time favorite books. In fact, when someone asks me and they're new into real estate, what book should I read? I always recommend Think and Grow Rich, because if you look at its track record outside of the Bible, I believe Think and Grow Rich has been the #1 best-selling book that's ever been written. Now, don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty certain. And if you've ever read that book, there's a section in it that he talks about this principle called autosuggestion. And what autosuggestion is all about is you have two minds, right? You have your conscious mind, which is the mind that you ultimately use to kind of navigate throughout your day. It's the mind that when you're talking to yourself or hearing the voice of yourself, that's your conscious mind. And then you have your unconscious mind, and your unconscious mind is the one that's really controlling the ship. And in fact, if you have ever read James Clear's book, The Atomic Habits, his prediction is that 95% of your thoughts, feelings, and actions are absolutely done through the subconscious mind. Thus, they are programmed and below your level of consciousness. And so this principle of autosuggestion, I found this really cool article, and I will, I'll drop the link here into the chat so you can look at this. And I'm not going to read this whole thing, but here's what it says. Autosuggestion is self-suggestion. It is the agency of communication. It is the agency of communication between that part of the mind where conscious thought takes place and that which serves as the seat of action for the subconscious mind. Through the dominating thoughts, which one permits to remain in the conscious mind, whether those thoughts be negative or positive is immaterial. The principle of autosuggestion voluntarily reaches the subconscious mind and influences it with these thoughts. And then I'm going to skip down here a little bit. And I'm skipping to this paragraph right here. Nature has so built man that he has absolute control over the material which reaches his subconscious mind through the 5 senses. Although this is not meant to be construed as a statement that man always exercises this control. In the great majority of instances, he does not exercise it, which explains why so many people go through life in poverty. And so when I think about a creed, you guys, a creed is you essentially writing the program that you want to run inside of your subconscious mind. So remember the analogy that I use in My Freed Life or My Freed Mind, which is you're all born with a 3D printer. And if you've ever looked or messed with a 3D printer, it's basically you have hardware, which is a computer, and inside of that you have software. The software interfaces with the printer and prints whatever it is that you design in the software, right? And yet many of us, because we don't take control of what enters our subconscious mind, we are 3D printing a life by default, and we can't figure out why it is that we can't seem to get ourselves to take the actions necessary to get from where we are to where we think we want to be. Now, I also have come to a realization that for some of you, the reason that you don't achieve your goals is because some of your habits are so poor that if you were to achieve your goals, it would probably kill you. And so you're trying to build a business on really bad habits, nutritionally, whether that's, lack of exercise, sleep, whatever, and that you're actually being protected in some instances from achieving your goal, because if you did, I think it might break and kill you. So keep that in mind if you're one of those people, or if that resonates with you. But what hit me, after we've come back from the 3 of 7 project, is that this creed is the installation of the program you want your subconscious mind to run. And if you've read Think and Grow Rich, what they recommend is that you write a statement, right? You write a creed, and then you read that statement every day, twice a day. And you can't just read it. Reading it is of no consequence. You have to feel it. You have to feel it. And a number of you have written your creeds because you've sent them to me, right? But some of you either don't know that this is something that we're working on because you didn't attend Grit Grind Unbeatable Mind, no judgment, you just weren't there. Or you've written it and you don't review it, or you've never written it. And so I'm really going to encourage all of you to write your creed. And I've finished mine. It's taken me some time because, I like to rough draft things, and I want to read it to you right now because it's important to me that I go first, and that I'm asking you to do things that I'm willing to do too. Now, when I read this, I want you to understand is that this is an aspirational statement. It doesn't have to be something like, if you right now in this moment are not a healthy eater, it is okay to write into your creed, I am someone who chooses food for fuel, not for fun, because it's an attempt to reprogram yourself. So don't get caught up in the realism of it, okay? So here's my free creed. I put it on my phone so that I always have it. It says, I am a student, teacher, and coach who always carries a kind word of encouragement. I seek first to understand. I remain free of judgment. I am always open to learning the battles others are fighting. I always choose kindness. Interference is the obstacle that becomes the way. I have chosen to master resistance. I realize its purpose is to make me stronger. I understand I am forged through adversity. I do not seek the easy path. I am present. I am in tune with the here and now. I realize the present has always been and will forever be the only manner in which I experience my life. There is no past and no future that exists outside of my imagination. Some of you need to hear that again. There is no past and no future that exists outside of my imagination. I am the author of my stories and the master of my emotions. I choose my states. I choose to induce states that allow me to make the decisions that are a reflection of the leader I intend to become. I choose greatness now, in this moment, forever. I am dead clear on what I control and pay no mind to what I can't. Worry is waste, and I do not waste energy praying for what I don't want. I am a master of meaning and interpretation. I will always seek meanings that empower me and allow me to complete my mission. I always operate from 100% clarity. I believe in possibility and know the resources that appear in my life are a direct reflection of my own level of personal commitment to my mission. I have made peace with accountability. I am a man of my word. My word is my bond. I keep the promises I make to myself and others. That's one that I'm really working on. I choose to lead myself well. I have chosen to master the art of conscious decision-making. I make decisions wisely and intentionally. I am a humble man. I will never fall into the trap of believing I am special. I am a servant who will always remain in the trenches of the human condition. I do not seek the towers. My ego does not and will not run this show. My beliefs and habits are consciously chosen by me. I design my life from the inside out. I have never been and will never be a victim of circumstance. I seek to create freedom on 3 levels, inner, outer, and for others. I am the change that I intend to see in the world. So that is my creed. And I want all of you to write yours. And I'll send this out if that's helpful as an example. But the process you go through is the thing that I really want you to go through to write your own. It's similar to when people, when they're writing the values of their company, because as many of you know, we've been really implementing, for some of you, the traction model. And the first step is to define the core values of your company. And one thing I've just noticed over the years is that people just want to rip off the Keller Williams one, and that's fine. But I think going through the process is what's really important. And so I would encourage you to go through the process of writing your own creed, the thing that you're going to read twice a day that will create a new program within your subconscious mind, so that the 95% of you that governs your thoughts, feelings, and actions are programmed by you, that you're doing it consciously. So I trust that that's helpful. I trust that it's something that you all will take action on. For those of you who are coaching clients of mine, I will be holding you accountable to this. It doesn't have to be long. It can be 2 to 3 sentences if necessary. For some of you that are really great writers, Jordan Davis, this thing may be a page or 5, I don't know. But develop your creed. Suggest to your mind that you are in control and that you download and install the programs and beliefs that you need to live your best life.